Welcome to Businessville. Your go-to source for the latest business news and updates. In today's video, we're excited to bring you an exclusive story that has the potential to impact the global fight against COVID-19. The question on everyone's mind is, will China be able to secure a license that will allow domestic drug makers to manufacture and distribute a generic version of Pfizer's COVID-19 antiviral drug, Paxlovid? And if so, how will this affect the availability and affordability of the drug in China and potentially around the world? China in talks with Pfizer. According to sources with knowledge of the matter, China's medical products regulator, the National Medical Products Administration, NMPA, has been leading talks with Pfizer Incorporated since late last month. The goal of these talks is to secure a license that will allow domestic drug makers in China to manufacture and distribute a generic version of Pfizer's COVID-19 antiviral drug, Paxlovid. Lunar New Year deadline. Beijing is reportedly keen to finalize licensing deal terms before the Lunar New Year, which begins on January 22nd. This is due to the intense pressure that Chinese hospitals are currently facing after the government abruptly abandoned its zero-COVID policy last month, resulting in a surge of infections across the country. This has overwhelmed hospitals, emptied pharmacies of medicines, and caused international alarm. Demand for Paxlovid, which was found to have reduced hospitalizations in high-risk patients by around 90% in a clinical trial, is in high demand in China. Many Chinese citizens have been attempting to get the drug abroad and have it shipped to China. It's worth noting that Beijing has been largely resistant to Western vaccines and treatments. However, oral treatment Paxlovid is one of the few foreign ones that it has approved. Pfizer agreement. In February of last year, China approved Paxlovid for use in high-risk patients in several provinces. The drug was supposed to be largely available via hospitals. However, last month, Pfizer reached an agreement to export Paxlovid to China through a local company in order to make the medicine more widely available. Meeting with Chinese drug makers. The NMPA held a meeting with several Chinese drug makers in late December to discuss preparations needed to make a generic version of Paxlovid, with the hope of securing the license in the near future. Companies such as Zhejiang Huahai Pharmaceutical and CSPC Pharmaceutical Group, a developer of a potential mRNA COVID vaccine, were among those that attended the meeting. The NMPA has also advised firms to prepare to register with the regulator to produce the generic version of Paxlovid. Bioequivalence tests. Prospective candidates, including Huahai and CSPC, have been conducting bioequivalence tests in recent weeks, which are required by Chinese regulators before generic drugs can be launched. For a generic drug to be deemed equivalent to a branded medicine, such tests are required to make sure they work the same way in the body. Both Huahai and CSPC expect to submit the test results to the NMPA later this month. Licensing arrangement with MPP. It's worth noting that in March, 35 generic drug makers around the world, including 5 Chinese firms, agreed to make cheap versions of Paxlovid for 95 poorer countries through a licensing arrangement with the UN-backed Medicines Patent Pool, MPP. However, this license does not allow the companies to sell generic Paxlovid in China. This potential licensing deal between China and Pfizer could have a significant impact on the availability and affordability of Paxlovid in China. With the country facing a surge in COVID-19 cases, the need for effective treatment options is greater than ever. However, it's important to note that this is still just a potential deal, and we will have to wait for official confirmation from both parties. Additionally, the impact of this potential deal could extend beyond China's borders. If successful, it could pave the way for other countries to negotiate similar deals with Pfizer, potentially making the drug more widely available and affordable in other parts of the world. At Businessville, we'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops. Will China be able to secure this license? And if so, how will it affect the global fight against COVID-19? Be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on the latest business news and updates. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to give it a like and leave a comment below.